Hey there, guys. It's me. I'm here. I haven't disappeared. And I'm sorry for not making an update video last week. A combination of travel and then the worst, I don't know, flu something that made me incapable of functioning for 3 or 4 days came over me. But I'm back. I'm walking. I'm feeling much better. And yeah, I'm here. So please feel free to reach out. I don't want you to think I've disappeared from your lives. And we're almost done, guys. You are almost at the end of your first quarter. So I'm really excited to see how things are going and to see your contextual inquiry diagramming and eventually see your final reports. Here's a very quick update for week 9. Your final reports are due next Friday. Can you believe that? 12/6. And the peer reviews for the contextual inquiry diagramming are not due this Thursday. I'm sorry. That was, it should not be on Thanksgiving. But we've moved that to Saturday by midnight. So please do give inline comments. Do not just give summary statements, but we really do like the inline comments. Now, when someone's submitting a PDF or an image, you go up and sticky notes on there. From the Canvas site, so that if it's not text, you can still give the inline comments. And please don't use the Canvas rubric. That's for us to actually grade you. So don't use that rubric's for us. For you, we just want you to give both the inline comments and a summary statement for your peer reviews. Okay? And hopefully learn from each other. That's the whole point of the peer reviewing. Also, as we wind down towards the very end of the quarter, please know that we're here for you. So reach out with questions. Reach out to the TAs, reach out to me. I'm also willing to have impromptu office hours on December 2nd and late in the afternoon or the evening. But I don't know if you need it or if that would be helpful. So if you would like me to have office hours on the 2nd, please email me directly. And if I get, more than one or two, then I will, if I get one or two, I'll just offer to speak with you one-on-one. But if I get more than one or two, we'll have an office hours open Skype session on December 2nd. And finally, take advantage of the writing help. You have to give Mary Lowry enough time, but as I've said before, it is such an amazing resource to have a really, really, really high quality writer here on staff to help you out. So I would take advantage of that if I can. And again, I give a whole lecture about the final report, so I'm not going to add any more expectations about the final report here, but look at the lecture closely and reach out with questions. One of the things that was really interesting and helpful about what's going on in Canvas right now is the discussion about how do I know when a compelling insight or finding with these kind of qualitative inductive data, because this is really the kind of thinking you need to have as you're looking back through your observations, your interviews, your kind of initial insights you got when you're trying to summarize those data, looking at your thinking topics and your diagram and trying to say, what is a storyline? What do I have here that's of the data, but that is compelling insight for my client, which is us. But thinking about the organization, what would they find compelling and what do I have the data to talk about? And again, it's both from the data but beyond the data. And as some of you talked about frequency of words and being brought up in interviews, and that's true. We want to know that whatever we're saying, that there's it's substantiated in the data, so that if you see something that happens all the time or a word that's brought up all the time, that might be a signal that there's something interesting going on there, but that's not a finding in and of itself, right? So if you hear a word brought up a lot in interviews, I would pursue that and say, what does that word mean? Why is it being brought up? What's going on there? But that's different than saying the finding is that this word was brought up 20 times. Who cares? Why do we care? What does it mean that the word was brought up? So yes, you're looking for something that's in the data and substantiated by the data, but you also want to be able to tell a theoretically rich kind of story of what's going on. Like, why does it matter? So yes, you want to find patterns and things that are substantiated, but you're also looking at things that are surprising and that have the bit of an explanatory mechanism behind them. So I see something operating in a certain way that has these implications. That's what I mean by explanatory mechanism. Something's going on here that can begin to explain something else. as Justin said in his review, you're trying to find the moving parts. I thought that was a really nice way of thinking about it. What's moving here? And again, we're not going to have clear, proven, A leads to B. This is not about direct causality. We don't have the data for that. But that doesn't mean you can't have some insight into about what is leading to what or what influences other things. So if you want to, an insight is something is operating in a certain way and having a certain kind of consequence. And the final report is all about trying to get you to find those insights about what's working here and why, what's not working here and why, how do different elements come together to create a certain kind of outcome. Lamont, I really liked what you were saying about the compelling insight is not something that can be, seen on the surface, but that if you realize it can be very powerful and it requires going back to your data and, I hate to say it, just thinking and sitting with it and asking yourself, what is interesting here? Why is that interesting? What is that? If you think that something is worth pursuing, you're like, what's going on there? Ask yourself all these questions about why. What does it mean? How is it working? And that's what the kind of thinking topics exercise and the contextual and creating diagramming are trying to get you to think broadly. Now remember, you're not going to use all of the things you've done in this quarter for the final report. The final report is taking everything you've done, and it was all fodder to try and help you find 3 to 5 compelling insights that ideally are linked, but they don't have to be, in telling a story that's really going to help your organization understand itself better. Okay? I wish you luck. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday week. I hope everyone is able to find, a little peace and love and relaxation on Thursday. And, please don't get as sick as I did. It was no fun, man. Okay, have a good week, guys.